Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name is Jimmy, and today we're going to be taking a look at Codenames. Now, Codenames is a game that plays in about 15 minutes with 4 to 8 players. In Codenames, a spy master is going to be giving out clues to his teammates. All the teammates know the agents that are out on the field by their codenames, but they don't know which belongs to their team. So a spy master is going to be giving out these one-word clues to try to help their teammates figure out who's on their team. Pick the right ones and your team advances. Pick the wrong ones, your opponents could take the lead. And pick the assassin and the game will be over. So let's take a look and see how this word game plays out. Okay, so this is what you get in the box with Codenames. You're going to get a couple things. You're going to get a sand timer that you may or may not use in the game. You're going to get I don't know how many of this is, maybe 100, 200 cards in the game. And these are two-sided cards that have a code name on both sides. And then you're going to get these harder cardboard that represents the different teams, the blue team, the red team, and the assassin and bystanders. These are two-sided, so there's a female side and a male side. And then there's also a double agent card that basically just has to do with it can be either an extra red agent or an extra blue agent. So the components that come with this game are adequate. This is not an expensive game, so it kind of is reflected in the pieces. There's nothing that I would say is lacking in the components, but I think that they do a good job for what they're supposed to do. So I like the components. I think you'll be happy with them. So let's talk about whether this game is hard or easy to learn. To be honest with you, I didn't read the rules to this game. I actually watched a Watch It Played video with Rodney Smith, and he does a great job teaching you the game. And so I simply just referenced this when we had questions. So they have a great section on the type of clues that you're allowed to give and what you're not allowed to do. They've got some explanation in here if you give penalties for giving wrong clues, setup. I mean, it's pretty simple. There's even variants on the back that talk about 2-player games or 3-player games that in essence are really just co-op versions of the game. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to divide into as evenly matched teams as you can. So you're going to pick some people that are going to be the spy masters or the people that are going to give clues on the game. And so what we did in our game is we took the legend or the key, whatever you want to call this, and set it on one side of the board. And so the spy master sat over here and everybody else just piled up on the other side of the table. So what you're going to do is you're going to set out a 5x5 grid that has these cards that just simply have clues on them or code names on them. And the great thing about this is this leads to an extreme amount of replayability with the game because these are two-sided and because you're putting them out randomly. No two game is ever going to be the same because of how the layout works. So the spy masters get to look at this card. And this card tells them which one of these cards that are out on the board are on their team. So if you are the blue team, then you can look at this card and say, okay, the second from the left on the top, this is my guy. So my guy is actually wind, according to this one. The other teammates don't get to see this. So all they see are these clues that are out on the board. But the spy masters get to look at this. So they see a couple things. They see where their people are. They see where their opponents are. And most importantly, they see where the assassin is. So in Codenames, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking turns back and forth. Teams are going to be swapping off turns. And you're going to try to give a code name or a clue that will connect as many possible cards on this board that you can on one turn. So you'll give out 2 clues. I'm going to give out a 1-word clue and then a number. The number corresponds to the clue, which connects to the code names that are out on the board. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, how many of these words on the board that are my agents can I connect with one word? And so I would look at this board and let's just say, for instance, here, if I was the red team, all 4 of these would be on my team. So I'd be saying, what do Jupiter, Ham, Agent, and Rabbit have in common? So I'm going to try to come up with one word that all of these would have in common that my team would easily be able to guess. And oh, and by the way, I've got to avoid dice. And I've got to avoid anybody else on the board that's not on my team, including the bystanders. So it gets really tricky where you're trying to think of one word that will connect all of these but not connect one of yours, and definitely not the assassin. And it's crazy because it sounds easy, but when you're the spy master and you're trying to give out a one-word clue, man, it can be complicated. And you just start thinking, oh, this is crazy. And so that's really how the game plays. So let's say I give out a clue. On my turn, I give out a clue like, I don't know what it would be, like orange or something. And so I'd say orange 2. So that would mean that there are 2 cards out on the board that connect to the word orange. So my team would start looking. And so they might look for round, or they might look for citrus, or they might look for juice, something like that. And so they're going to be looking through that. And so the number I give out is the number of clues that my teammate can pick. And so if I said orange, and they'd look for 2, and they'd say, okay, it's this one. When they decide, they'll touch a card. Now it's my turn to say, yes, you got it right. If I got it right, then I'd place one over the top of that and say, hey, we got that right. That's great. Now you got one more out there. What is it going to be? If they pick a bystander, then the turn's over. I would just place a bystander on there, and then the other team gets to go. If I happen to pick one of theirs, I would simply reveal that it's one of theirs. In essence, they're getting ahead in the game, and now it's also their turn. My turn ends. If I ever choose the assassin, then the game is over. They'd say, oh man, you picked the assassin, the game's over, the other team wins. It just goes back and forth like that until one team gets all of their agents, or until the other team loses by choosing the assassin and somebody wins. There is a timer in the game, and the timer can be used if the other team is taking too long. And that is my only negative to this game, is that there can be analysis paralysis where the spy master is trying to figure out what to say. And it can be complicated. The first time you are the spy master, you go into this thing thinking, I got this, it's easy, I'll connect these words, it'll be fine. But when you start trying to figure out what connects to yours, but doesn't connect to theirs, and doesn't touch the assassin, it can be complicated. And so sometimes you will need to use the timer in case somebody's taking too long. Basically, you say, all right, you're on the clock, figure it out. And so then that forces the other team to go. This is one of those games that instantly you want to play again. And we played this twice over the Thanksgiving holiday, 2 sessions, I guess, where we played it probably 4 or 5 times each session, because as soon as you play, you want to go again. The only other negative I would say is that if you have somebody that's not a good clue giver, you're going to have a hard time playing this game, because if you don't give out good clues, or too simple clues, or clues that don't really make sense, then you're going to have a hard time. So actually, you could play this pretty competitively if you played with the same people and you played a lot. You could get really, really good at this. And so it's fun. This is like Password in board game form, but so much better. Password, the old TV show, it's like that, but just as fun. This is going to be a staple at every single family gathering that I have. I'm going to have to bring this until I get tired of it, and then I'll leave it at home so they won't be able to play it. But for now, because we love it so much, I'm going to be playing this game a lot. So at the end of our reviews, we like to do a simple 1-die rating. Should you buy it, play it, or hate it? Green means go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means don't buy it, don't play it because you hate it. This one gets a green from me. Total green on this one. Go buy this game. It's cheap. You should have it on your shelf to play. It's a fun word game. You'll pull people in to play this game that won't play a regular board game. And I actually enjoy it enough that if somebody said, let's play this one, I'm in. Whereas a lot of times if I'm having to play with family at Thanksgiving gatherings and it's card games or it's something else, I don't really want to play, but I'll play because I love you. But other than that, I'm not into it. Well, this one, it can pull in fringe people or gateway people, get them into the door, play it, they like it, maybe they'll play something else with you. So anyways, I talked a lot, but that's my review of Codenames. Check it out. And thanks for watching our video review of Codenames. We've got a lot more reviews on our website, boardgamecloset.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for watching.